So now you're lying on your back, and let's work on now movement patterns, because part of the program is to train your strength, train your mobility and flexibility. But the other big feature of the program is retraining movement patterns, because sometimes you can do everything you can, get your quads, glutes, core muscles strong, but the movement patterns still persist. So what's important is to also work on movement habits. As you're lying on your back, pay attention to the quality of contact. Shoulders, shoulder blades, buttocks, legs, arms. And pay special attention to continuity of the line of the leg. Feel where your right toes are pointing, where your top of your foot, the dorsal part of the foot, like the part that you would do kicking ball or bouncing ball with, the front. Then pay attention to the shin. Are these the same lines? The toes, top of the foot, and line of the shin. And then pay attention to the kneecap. Is this the same line? And then your thigh. And then your hip joint. And try to picture how the line from the thigh, from the leg goes into the spine and travels up the spine to the head. Now do the same on the left leg and feel the toes, the top of your foot, the front of your shin, the kneecap, the thigh. Are they on the same line? Ideally, they would be. Ideally, there wouldn't be big twists between feet and kneecaps and where thighs are lying. Ideally, they would be more or less congruent. But if there aren't, just recognize that. We're not trying to correct it with some forceful policing yourself. We'll see if the practice will make any difference. Good. And please bend both of your knees. And have your hands again on the floor. If the mat is not slippery, it would be better to slide to the bottom of the mat and have the foot on the floor or on something that your foot could slide, because it will be too annoying to have a sticky surface underneath you. Begin to slide your right foot a tiny little bit away from your buttock and toward you, and away and toward, and away and toward. Imagine you painting a line, a straight line with your foot. And the knee doesn't have to straighten completely. It's not about straightening the knee all the way. Just within the range where the toes and the ball of the foot still can stay on the floor. You'll see if you straighten the leg too far, the toes lose contact with the ground. That means you went too far. Back and forth, slide it a little bit, slide it back. Pay attention as you're moving the leg, if you can sense the pelvis tilting a little bit and the lower back changing its contact with the floor. Does it flatten a little bit one way and does it arch a little bit the other way? Or would you say that pelvis has nothing to do with the slide of your right foot? Good. Stretch out your legs and rest. Feel if just a few seconds of paying attention, if already something on the right side feel more open and longer, flatter. Please bend both of your knees again. This time, paint the line on the floor to the right and to the left. Small amount. And slide your right foot, preferably the whole foot, not edges, If the floor is, again, too sticky, probably maybe even lift the ball of the foot and slide the heel a little bit right and left only. Or ideally, it's the whole foot. Whole foot like a sponge. You could imagine peanut butter being spread by the foot, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Now, can you do this movement when your foot goes in, the knee goes out? And when the foot goes out, the knee leans inward toward the left knee. See if you could accentuate the action of the hip joint. The knee and foot moving in opposite direction. Can this be done easily? That requires your right hip joint to nicely rotate. Back and forth. That's great. Stretch out your legs and rest, please. And feel again your right leg, how long it is. Sensation in your right hip. Please bend both of your knees again. Let's see if we can connect these movements in making a circle with your foot. Again, ideally, your foot stays flat. That's for perfection. For those of you, and I see some of you are our dear friends and students that we've been with us for a decade now or more, and treat this. You've done this lesson, painting with the sole of the foot, already 100 times maybe. Treat it as a new opportunity to feel how the foot could be all the time flat, like you washing with some beautiful smoothness a window pane with a sponge of your foot. That requires incredible precision in your hip joint, in your pelvis, organization of the whole spine. Change direction. Your foot travels outward, inward, away from you, to outward, toward your buttock, away from you. And the knee travels in opposition. When the foot goes out, the knee tilts in. When the knee tilts out, the foot is on the inside closer to the other foot. Leave it alone. This is deceptively difficult movement. It's not an easy movement. Most people on this planet have difficulty with this movement because that requires the ball and socket in the hip joint to kind of sit beautifully, and the ball is circling deep in the joint of the hip. So don't beat yourself up if you're confused, if you feel that movement is a little jumpy, a little jerky, or something in the groin is feeling like, oh, after 2-3 movements, I need to stop and rest. Go ahead, stop. Don't punish yourself. We use movement to help ourselves, not to trigger strain. Now, so you did movements forward, back, right and left, and you circle. Let's see if we can feel a change. Lie on your stomach for a second. We should have actually, I've done this lesson enough that I should have started with you lying on the stomach and doing what you're about to do, but I didn't. I forgot again. Lift your right leg a few times by bending the knee and see how light the right leg is. Lifted lower, lifted lower, lifted lower. The leg that you exercise. Both legs are straight, and bend your right knee. Meaning lift the right leg to bend position and then straighten it and bend it and straighten it. And feel how light that leg is in bending the knee. And now compare that with the left one that we didn't exercise. Can you feel the difference? Bending the knee, straightening the knee. And then do it on the right leg again. And keep the right knee bent with the sole of the foot to the ceiling. And move the foot right and left a little bit. Here's the hip rotations again. Not around the heel. That's it. That's better. And move it gently right and left like a windshield wiper. Your whole leg is like a windshield wiper. And feel the hip joint again, rotating the ball in the socket. Don't go rapidly. Don't go to the edges because edges sometimes catch labrum in the hip joint. No need to strain anything. Just small, gentle movement, right, then left, then right, then left. And now make a circle with your foot. Move the foot to the right, down away from your head, to the left, toward your head a little bit, and to the right again. Make a small circle. And feel, what does it feel like to make a circle now, here in this position? Is your pelvis joining the movement? Can you feel something in the rib cage? Can you feel the movement in the armpits? If you go not aggressively, if you abandon the idea of doing more or faster and bigger, if you stop exercising, but you go slowly and you pay attention, you may discover, whoa, my whole skeleton is joining the movement. Armpits, base of the neck, spine between your shoulder blades become part of what you're doing. And this is the secret to health. Distributing movement throughout your whole system. So no one joint gets punished, whether it's knee or hip or spinal vertebra, doing it such that the movement flows through the whole system. Good. Lie on your back, please. Roll over onto your back. Feel the right leg. Can you sense that we've been doing only one leg in the last 10 minutes or so? Can you feel it? Can you feel it longer, more open? What's the sense of congruency? Is your knee showing outward just as your right foot? Wonderful. Bend both of your knees. And let's do left leg. I would challenge you to make movements smaller on this left leg and a little slower. And we'll see if we have just as impactful or maybe even more successful results than on the right side. So go slower and go smaller. Left foot sliding a little down and a little back to the buttock. Little down, little bit up. I'll never forget when I injured my knee for millionth time. I had a swelling and the knee was very limited in range. I could barely bend it. And I did this lesson, just fragments of it, whatever I could. My knee wasn't able to bend comfortably. So I started from maybe like 30 degrees to 40 degrees and with just the heel moving a little bit. And it was amazing. Within minutes, the swelling subsided. The knee started to yield. This knee started to move safely. Gently down and up. Can you feel your spine? When you move your foot away, it's toward straightening the legs. And you know what happens with your lower back when you lie with the straight legs, right? It arches a little bit, comparing to having knees close to the chest when the back flattens. So within this small range from knee more bent to knee less bent, can you feel that your spine is joining that movement, that dance? A little bit into arching, a little bit into bending. I'm not talking about anything huge, like or deliberate, but can you sense connection? Good enough. Stretch out your legs and rest, please. Feel if already after just a minute of moving your left leg, there are some signs of a change, signs of left leg getting softer, more open, longer, warmer, more comfortable. Please bend your knees, both of your knees, and slide your left foot a little bit in and a little out. And remember about this idea of knee moving in opposite direction, that this asks for two places, two super important places for health of the knee: your ankle and subtalar joints, meaning the joints in the foot, and your hip joint. If you're doing it close to ideal, or even if you're not doing it close to the ideal, but a little bit better than you did it yesterday, and you will do it better in 3 minutes that you're doing right now, you will give yourself incredible service for your health of the knee. Your foot stays flat, and in order for the foot to move out or in, the ankle and subtalar joint, they have to respond. Because how else? If I put your foot in the cast, plaster of Paris, you wouldn't be able to keep the foot level with the knee going in, the foot out. How can you keep it level? The outside edge would lift. And the same thing opposite. If you put the knee out and foot in, the inside edge would lift. But here I'm asking you for the foot to stay flat, no matter if the foot goes out or in. That asks for some intelligence within the foot. And of course, your hip joint has to be able to rotate internally and externally. And those two joints have to stop fighting each other. Stop going into, no, you go with me. No, you go with that. No, both can, even though they do opposite movement. The knee opens out, but the foot needs to stay flat. And then the knee goes inward, but the foot goes out. Feel one way is supination, and the other way is pronation in the foot. The smaller you make it, the smoother you make it, the more success you'll have. Good, leave it, stretch out. And again, don't worry if you got it or not. If you felt that in the subtalar joint, or if you didn't, just the moment that your mind went, let me see if I can figure it out. Just that moment of your brain toying with the problem. This is already gold. This is what we want. And this is what when we meet with our group every week and we do lesson after lesson after lesson, that's what we do. And we just, every week, we feed our brain with another approximation, how to do this, how to perform. Not intellectually. It's not that you learn some new, yes, of course, sometimes you learn new ideas and new things about anatomy and physiology of the joints. But what you truly learn is control. Your cerebellum, your midbrain, your spinal cord, learning those primitive, primal ways of controlling movement. This cannot be taught through books or through interesting conversations. It has to be done through doing. Bend both of your knees and now join in a circular movement. Now it gets even more brilliant. I get goosebumps when I'm just talking about this. Your foot moving away, your foot moving outward, your foot moving toward your buttock, your foot moving inward. The knee travels in opposition. Now your foot has to go into dorsiflexion when it comes close to your buttock, plantar flexion, meaning pointing the foot when it moves away, supination when the foot goes out, and pronation when it travels in. Imagine a clock surface with 12 o'clock, let's call it, away from you, and 6 o'clock toward you, and 9 o'clock is to the left, and 3 o'clock is to the right. And as your foot is traveling through every quarter of that clock, it has to, actually every hour, every minute, it has to change something about the amount of plantar flexion or dorsiflexion, supination, pronation. It has to become a brilliant foot. And at the same time, the hip joint is rotating outward, inward, little bit of straightening when the foot moves away, little bit of flexing when it moves closer. Good. Rest a moment before you change direction. Stretch out your legs, rest a moment. Again, we don't want to fatigue. If you feel some groin fatigue, it just shows that your muscles are not ready for such precision yet. So you need to do 1, 2, and drop it, release it. And then you come back to it. Again, 1, 2 movements, drop and release. Go ahead, bend your knees again and go in the opposite direction. Very tiny movement. Those of you who are you've done it many times, you pay attention to your pelvis doing pelvic clock. It goes all around. It goes left, flatten, up, out, in. You feel your spine being pulled and pushed. You feel the spine between your shoulder blades like a snake traveling side to side. Your armpits, your ribs, your head is making a circle. Speaking of distribution of movement through the, and don't fake it. Don't try it. If the head is not moving, don't try, my head should be going and then I'll start moving. No. It's better to realize, where am I holding? Oh, my neck, on my shoulders. Where am I still holding so the head is not moving or spine is not doing that snake-like motion or pelvis is not rocking? Where am I holding? Could I breathe to that? Could I rest? Stretch out and rest, please. And feel what's different in your body, in your hips, in your legs. And one last time, please lie on your stomach and check the lightness of bending and straightening your left knee. If it got better, you're lying flat, you put your head on your hands or so, and a few times bend this leg that you were just training and see, did it get lighter comparing to when we did the first break? And then do it on the other leg and see if something changed. And then bend that right leg and make a few circles. Or actually bend both of your legs and make a few circles. One leg first, the other leg second, and 2 at the same time, 2 in the same direction, 2 in the opposite direction. So many choices. But again, don't just jam it by using power of will. Less and more lightly and swiftly and simply, so it looks lazy. It looks easy. When somebody looks at you, will say, oh, it's so simple, until they try and they'll say, oh, the movement is jagged or it's jumpy or it's not flowing so simply. Beautiful. And lie on your back, please. And one more thing for today, and then we'll end the evening. Lie on your back. Have your feet together and knees together, hands down along the side, so you can stabilize with your arms, with your hands, with your shoulders, and make a circle with both feet. And feel this movement, the knees tip. If the feet go to the right, knees tilt left. If the feet go left, knees tilt right. Gentle. Can soles of the feet remain flat? Which is super control. One foot pronates, the other supinates, then they move away, toward, knees go in the opposite direction than feet. Can you feel your pelvis rocking and rolling? Can you feel your armpits, movement of the ribs in the armpits? And don't try hard. The harder you try, the further it gets. Perfect. Leave it alone. Straighten your legs. Rest. The good news, the practice for today is done. You did it. You don't have to exercise anymore. It's done. You could check it. Just like my yellow pad. Checked. Done. And then we do it tomorrow again. And then we do it tomorrow, the day after, and the day after. And we become Feldy addicts. Roll to your side, please. Come up onto your feet and get a sense of what is it like to stand. Feel your feet, your knees, your hips, your spine, your pelvis. Watch how tall you are in your uprightness. Can you feel how your feet read the ground? They calibrate your balance. Walk a little bit. And please come to the screen.